Seriously, Natalie?
Huh? Amanda?
Yeah, it's me. I can't believe you're actually going to Derek's funeral. Wasn't ruining our marriage enough for you? Now you have to ruin his funeral, the last chance I have to say goodbye as well?
I'm not ruining anything, Amanda. I'm going to say goodbye to my husband. I'm allowed to do that. In fact, I've got more right than you to do that considering I'm his wife.
More right than me? I was his wife first. We were married for 20 wonderful years before you came around and ruined it all. You little homewrecker.
You weren't married for 20 years, Amanda, and you know it. It was just over 10 years, and you were both miserable for the last 2 years of it.
What would you know of it, huh?
Derek told me all about your marriage. From the sounds of it, you were both making each other miserable. He was so cold and distant with you and trying to find any excuse not to go home, and you were always so short and snappy with him. He told me it was like you were blaming him for something that dissatisfied you. And, for the record, I didn't wreck anyone's home. You and Derek were already separated when I met him. The only thing that happened whilst I was in the picture was that your divorce was finalized. You can't blame me for your marriage failing when I wasn't even there when it all happened.
Ugh, that's just a lie. I love Derek so much, and you came along and stole him from me. That's the truth. If it wasn't for you, we probably would have gotten back together.
I'm not going to argue over this, Amanda. I have too much to do for this funeral that, frankly, I'm barely just keeping it together. I'm so heartbroken right now, and I can't deal with your petty drama. I've given you an invite for the funeral because, whilst you were separated, I believe you deserve to say goodbye to Derek too. Because you meant something to each other once. Whether you want to go or not is up to you.
I'll only go if you don't.
That's not going to happen. I'm going, and there's no debate about that. If that means you don't go, well, that's up to you.
Fine, I'll be there, but you better stay away from me.
Trust me, I won't be anywhere near you.
Good.
Are you kidding me, Amanda? I can't believe you chucked me out of the funeral. How petty can you get?
I'm not petty. You were kicked out of the funeral on your own accord. You just went on and on and on about how much you loved him, and people got sick of it. That's all.
That's not true. You were the one to make a whole scene about me being there. You even lied to the priest and told him that I was Derek's ex-wife. That's the reason I was kicked out. Now I understand why Derek left you.
How dare you? You were the reason he left me.
Actually, you cheating on him with a guy named Gary was the reason he left.
What? He told you about that?
Of course he did. We told each other everything. I mean, we loved each other, so of course we'd share everything with one another.
Well, clearly he didn't share everything with you.
Huh? What do you mean?
Oh, don't you worry about it. You'll find out soon enough. LOL.
Whatever, Amanda. Just please leave me alone. I want to mourn in peace.
Yeah, whatever. You just keep playing the innocent victim. Everyone knows you only got with Derek for his money. It's really obvious.
What? No, I didn't. I loved him. I didn't even know he owned a successful company until we were already 6 months into dating. Besides, I don't care about the money. He could have been dirt poor and I still would have loved him. He was just an amazing man, filled with so much love and kindness. Only an idiot would let him go.
Ugh, you think you're so smart, playing like you wanted to be with him just for him. But it's not true. I know you are more like me than you want to admit, that the only reason you married Derek was to get his wealth when he died. I mean, that's why I married him. But then you came along and ruined it all.
You might be cold and callous like that, but I'm nothing like you. I loved him for him, and that's it.
Uh-huh, sure you did. But you want to know something?
What?
I have a feeling that you aren't going to get a single dollar of Derek's fortune.
And why is that?
Oh, no reason. Just a little hunch. LOL.
Whatever, I'm going. Just please leave me alone now.
Uh-huh, of course. Oh, Natalie, it was lovely seeing you at Derek's will reading today. I bet you weren't expecting to see me there, though, were you?
Amanda, no, it was a bit of a shock.
You know what else was a shock? The fact that Derek left me his house in the will. LOL. When I say house, it's more like a mansion, isn't it? Were you expecting that? I bet you weren't. LOL. What's the matter? You're not sulking, are you? Because I won?
No, I'm not sulking, Amanda. I'm an adult and I can handle things in a mature way. Unlike you.
Oh, is that so? Well then, handle this. I want you out of my house by the end of the week. That's how long the will states I have to give you to get everything in order, so you have until Friday to get all of your stuff and to get moved out. After that, anything that's left behind will be mine and I can do whatever I want with it.
Wow, that's really not a lot of time at all. And you're seriously going to kick me out of the house that Derek and I built together? You're really that cold and heartless?
Yes, I guess I am. Anyway, I've always been jealous of that house, so I want it for myself. Got it? So hurry up and leave already.
I see. Very well. I'll get all of my things sorted out quickly and I'll be out of your hair before you know it.
Great.
Just one thing before I go. The will stated that the house needed to be left in its original state, right?
That's correct. Exactly as you found it. Nothing should be changed about it at all. So don't even think of trying to take something away from it, because I'll know if you do.
Very well. Its original state is how you'll find it.
It better be. Natalie, what have you done? OMG, where's the house gone? What is this pile of rubbish? I told you not to mess with anything. I am so going to get my lawyer on you.
Amanda? What's the matter? I've moved out of the house like you asked me to.
Oh, don't play coy with me. You know exactly what the matter is. Where's my house?
What do you mean? Your house is exactly where I left it.
No, it isn't. This building isn't the same house you had. It's just a pile of bare bricks and rotten floorboards. This isn't what it was like at all. I don't know what you think you're playing at, but you're going to wish that you never tried to take me on. I'm going to sue you so bad for what you've done. It was in the will that I got this house, and the fact that you haven't given it to me will surely go against you in court.
Actually, Amanda, you said that I had to give you the house in its original state. Well, that is the original state.
Huh?
That's how me and Derek bought it. It was a falling down pile of rubbish when we first laid eyes on it. It was only through our hard work and effort that we got it renovated into the house we lived in. But considering you said that you wanted the house in its original state, I thought I'd better do what you ask.
No, but you know that's not what I meant. I wanted the house as it was when you lived in it.
Oh, well then, you really should have been more specific.
How did you even do all of this? It must have cost you loads of money to rip everything out.
Well, you're not wrong there. But what with me inheriting Derek's money and company and everything, it wasn't that much of an expense. And I was glad to do it if it taught you a lesson.
A lesson?
Yeah. A lesson in not to mess with someone else's will and life.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, please. Do you really think that I wouldn't look into that so-called will Derek left? I know that you were sleeping with the lawyer who read Derek's will, and that the two of you conspired to try and take my house. I'm sure that you would have tried to get his money if you thought that you could have gotten away with it. But we both know that Derek wouldn't have left anything like that to you. It's funny, though, that you think I'd accept him leaving our house to you. I'm really not stupid, even though you seem to be under the impression that I am. I had a third party look into the will you and your boyfriend had, and it turned out to be a fake. The real will states that Derek left everything to me. It doesn't even mention your name.
That's not true. The will Tony read was the real one. You're the one who's made a fake.
Did your will have all of the official signatures? No, it didn't. How do I know this? Because the lawyer who looked into your will assessed that Derek's signature was different to the one that he had used his entire life. In simpler terms, it was forged.
But it wasn't my idea, it was all Tony.
Well, I'm sure you can sort all of that out with the police.
Wait, no, please don't call the police.
It's too late. Forging a will is a serious crime, and as soon as it was discovered that you'd done that, the police took the case over. I'm sure they'll be contacting you soon.
But why did you even gut the house if you knew that I was lying?
Ah, that. Well, now that Derek is gone, the thought of living in the house that we both built together was too hard. I took everything out so that I could still remember him, but I'm moving somewhere a bit smaller and more quaint. I was able to sell most of the things after keeping the things I wanted, and that were the most important to me, so I've made a bit of money as a nest egg.
But that's not fair. I wanted that house. I deserved it.
All you deserve is facing the consequences of your actions when the police come and get you.
You ruined everything. I hate you. With all of my heart, I hate you.
I'm sorry you feel like that, Amanda. I don't know what I've done to you. You might think that I stole your husband from you, but the reality is that you two were finished by the time I met him. I don't know why you can't accept that, but I'm done playing nice. This will be the last time I speak to you now. Any other interactions will be done via lawyers to sort out this whole mess you've caused with your fake will. Now, goodbye, Amanda. The police ended up arresting both Amanda and her boyfriend, Tony, for the fake will that they made. In the end, though, Amanda was given 100 hours of community service as she didn't have such a massive part in the forgery. Her boyfriend, on the other hand, was sentenced to 5 years in jail as it turned out that it wasn't the first time he had forged a will. As for me, I found a nice little cottage and I am living quite happily. I miss my husband every day, but I do what I can to get by. I know that one day I'll see him again, but until then, I'll try to appreciate every day I have and find the good even in the bad.
I just came from the hospital. The doctor said that Dad doesn't have long after all. She said we should prepare ourselves mentally.
I see. This must be tough for you. Are you all right?
Yeah. But he's been fighting against death for about 6 months now. I even thought that if he passed, his suffering would come to an end. Am I a bad person?
Not at all. Lydia, you've been taking care of him the most out of all your family, right?
I guess. Not that I really wanted to be looking after him. It's just so weird that my argumentative father is just lying there quietly. It just still feels surreal.
It's not so easy to accept this so soon. I'll go visit sometime soon.
Thanks. I'm sure he'll be pleased. Joey's always really liked you, and he could trust you with work.
Really?
It's true, right? This is a first for anyone outside of direct relatives to get a position like a chief director. Well, it's all because you're so good at your job. I've never been complimented by my dad. Not even once.
Your dad is a little old-fashioned when it comes to his treatment of women.
That's true. I guess my brother takes after Dad in that regard. Because of Dad and Harry, I just thought that all men are chauvinistic like that. You're the one who changed my view on that.
In a good way, right?
Of course. I'm so glad we got married, Joe. Isn't work busy because my dad's away?
It's fine. That's what I'm here for.
You're so reliable. Have you heard the rumor that some of the other employees are saying you should be the next CEO, Joe?
There are others that outrank me, like Harry and your uncles. I'm not related in blood, so it won't happen.
I guess you're right. Thanks for sticking with my family's company. I know it's a nuisance. My relatives aren't exactly the kindest of people. That includes my dad, too. But you don't have to keep working there if it gets tough, all right?
I'm just happy we got married, Lydia.
Me too.
You've been visiting the hospital a lot lately. Aren't you tired?
Yeah, listening to difficult conversations is tiring. My brother and relatives were talking about inheritance. I'll go have a nap for a bit. Don't worry, I'll have dinner ready.
You don't have to make dinner if you need a rest. This must be emotionally draining, so sometimes you need a break on account of that.
Thanks, but I'll be okay for making dinner. But you shouldn't overwork either, Joe. You've been coming back late recently.
Got it. I won't overdo it. Just take it easy.
Joe, what the hell happened? Everyone's angry that you were laughing so hard at the funeral of the man who was your father-in-law and CEO. And then you disappeared somewhere?
Sorry about that. All sorts of emotions welled up inside of me. I couldn't help but laugh.
How can you say that? I'm honestly appalled that you laughed as well, Joe. I think that was way out of line. All my relatives are saying that I should divorce such a horrible man. I didn't realize that you thought it was so funny that my dad died.
I haven't laughed that hard in ages. I honestly think that karma caught up to him.
What? What do you mean, karma? I'll admit that I wasn't exactly fond of my father, but he always liked you, didn't he, Joe?
He never liked me at all from the start. He was just using me.
Huh?
You remember when I was hired at your family business after we got engaged, right?
Yeah?
Your dad just wanted access to the tech at my dad's company. That's why he got the two of us to marry.
What the? I haven't heard any of that. It's true that your dad introduced you to me, but we didn't talk about anything about either of their jobs. In fact, we were just having a casual dinner. I didn't get the impression that they were pushing marriage.
Maybe he didn't let you know, Lydia, but your dad told me to marry you from the get-go. At the time, my dad's company was struggling. So your dad offered to lend my dad some money.
So you didn't marry me because you loved me? It was all a lie?
That's not true. I thought I would refuse at first, but he said we should at least meet first. I thought I could just act disinterested and get you to dislike me. But I met you, and it was, well, love at first sight, Lydia.
Really?
It's true. I never liked your father, though. There was nothing particularly impressive about him as a businessman either. So I didn't want to get involved if possible. I mean, he was the kind of man who would use his own daughter for his own gain. Like he was some kind of feudal lord selling off his daughter like property.
If you hated his offer so much, why did you go through with it?
Because I loved you so much, of course. Lydia, you are kind, honest, and you have the most beautiful smile. I thought that you would just be used by a pawn by some other jerk if I refused. So I thought it would be best to stay by your side and protect you as much as possible.
I had no idea. I wish you had told me all of this sooner. I wouldn't have let you suffer in silence, Joe.
I thought you'd be hurt if you found out the truth. You've never been fond of your dad, have you? I didn't want you to make it worse by revealing that he was using our marriage.
Then why did you tell me now?
I'm sorry. The situation has changed.
Situation?
Your dad told me to divorce you before he passed. He was going to marry you off to somebody else for his selfish ends. You're very pretty and still young, after all.
How could he?
He's got the tech he wanted for my dad's company. He was just getting rid of dead weight.
How scummy my dad and my relatives were.
Of course, I wasn't going to do as he said. But when I declined, your dad and your relatives and the other top brass tried their best to incriminate me. They tried to frame me for all sorts of crimes. I've managed to get by with the help of employees who are on my side.
I had no idea they were doing all of this to you. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. It wasn't your fault. And all the harassment stopped when your father dropped ill.
I see.
Honestly, I'm at my wit's end. I want some distance from your relatives, and I want the same for you, too. That's why I told you all of this, Lydia. I'm sorry. I know you would have preferred not to know.
Not at all. Thank you for telling me the truth. I really had no idea. That's why Dad and all the others called me stupid.
You're not stupid, Lydia. But do you trust me? It's not as if I have proof. Well, I'm glad you believe me, but, you know...
Of course. I trust you more than anyone else in the world, Joe. You've always been so kind and honest with me. I know you're a good person.
Thank you, Lydia. Will you stay with me? You have to be ready to live a life that might be more difficult than before.
Naturally. I want to help you. You don't have to bear all of this alone. I say that, but I'm not even sure how exactly I can help you. Still, I'll do anything.
You're giving me all the help I need and more by just staying by my side, Lydia. I've processed your resignation notice, Joe. I guess you finally realize that you're unneeded here. Took enough time for you to quit. But I wish you'd quit when Dad was still alive. It would have been a nice parting gift for him. I did as you asked. You can't really complain. Not so fast, buddy. What about your divorce with Lydia? Dad gave you that as one of his terms. Harry, look. Lydia and I aren't getting a divorce. I can't believe you're making political marriages in this day and age. You could have consulted my father's company. That would have been the practical thing to do. I don't care as long as it benefits us, even temporarily. We both got connections out of this, so it wasn't so bad. Lydia isn't a pawn to be sold off as you please. She's my precious wife. Ah, what are you babbling on about? It was just a useful marriage for you as well to begin with. That was how I met her, but I married her because I loved her. If we weren't compatible, I wouldn't have done such a thing. Aw, enough of your sappy talk. Sure it's okay for me to tell Lydia directly? That you married her to bail out your dad's company? I'm sure she'll be deeply hurt. That's fine. I explained everything to Lydia. She still says she wants to be with me. Now that's true love. Ugh, I see. So that idiot is naive and too trusting of people as always. That's why we call her a failure. She's just an airhead who has nothing but looks. She's your own sister. How can you say such a thing? I don't have a single fond memory of her. She's just some dumb girl who never thinks about anything. You could see the stupid in her expressions. I've always found her annoying. But I guess it's thanks to her that we were able to take all that tech from your old man's company. Ha! Stop insulting my wife. Lydia is kind and a ray of sunshine. She's a far better person than you or any of your relatives. Whatever. We've never had high hopes for Lydia anyway. Is that so? It seems like Dad wanted to use Lydia, but I just wanted to get rid of you. So it seems like I got my wish, huh? I got to be the new CEO too. Then you should never approach Lydia or me again. We don't want anything to do with you. Do as you please. Just don't come crawling back to us because you lost your cushy job. I'll make sure you don't get 1 cent of Dad's inheritance. If you want nothing to do with us, it shouldn't be a problem, should it? Same goes for you, Harry. If business goes badly for you, don't come crawling back to me for help. Huh? Why should I need your help? You did whatever you liked, even though we did you a favor and hired you. Don't get cocky just because a few people wanted you as the next CEO. You're being rather bold. I guess you haven't been told yet, then. Told what? What are you talking about? It's been about 3 days since I handed in my resignation notice. Haven't you heard anything from HR? There shouldn't be anything wrong. Really? That's weird. Some of the others who also resigned got in touch with me. There were quite a few of them, so I just thought you might be in trouble. Oh, such an obvious lie. Company is running as normal. Then that's great. Well, that's the way it should be. If all the non-relative employees quit, I'm sure the rest of you could keep the company afloat. If your company really did go down after that, how pathetic it would be. Wait a minute. Oh, what's wrong, Harry? Did you start getting worried? Are you calling HR? Hey, what's going on? What do you mean? 10 people quit all at once? There's even one guy who quit just now. Did you orchestrate this? I bet you're moving them all to another company. I did no such thing. I'm pretty sure everyone did this of their own free will. No way was this their free will. What is this? All our senior people just up and left. If you did take them somewhere else, I'm gonna sue you. Do what you want. I haven't done a thing. It's your stupid family's fault for building the company on nepotism and overworking the non-relatives. They must have all just had enough. It's because you quit. There were a few people who told me that was their reason for leaving, but that's not grounds for a lawsuit. This is all your fault. We've got enough trouble as it is arguing about Dad's inheritance. What do you think you're doing? Actually, you're the one who told me to quit. I didn't think the others would quit as well. Then wasn't that a problem for you not knowing your own employees very well? Fine. We'll take you on again in our company. So tell the others to quit to withdraw their resignation notice. No, thank you. I don't have the faintest desire to work for your company anymore. What? We've been paying you well all this time. You can live very comfortably. I don't need your job. Okay, I'll double your salary. So why don't you take back your resignation? You don't understand a thing, do you? It's not a problem of money. We've kept you all this time. You owe us. I've worked hard for your company. I've contributed more than anyone to your profits. What more can you ask of me? This is Lydia's family business you're talking about. Yeah, but we're cutting ties, remember? Well, I'm busy preparing for the next stage of my life, so I'll go now. Wait! Then you can be Chief Operating Officer. That'll keep you happy, right? If you're upset that Uncle Tony's taking that position, you can have it. I don't want it. You really don't get it, do you? Then what do you want from us? Tell me. I only stayed at your company for Lydia. You might not see her as much, but she's my everything. You said you don't need her, as if she was just some object. So I don't feel like cooperating. Aw, what's so great about that dumb girl? Her looks. So easy for women. All they need to do is look good. Then they don't need anything else for life. Then what do you bring to the table, Harry? What do you mean? You're incompetent at your job, your employees don't respect you, you're ugly, and a horrible person. You left Lydia completely on her own when it came to looking after your father. What exactly is it that makes you so amazing? Compared to you, Lydia is beautiful and a lovely soul. She's better than you in every way. After that, with only employees hired based on nepotism left, the company went into a financial slump. Add to that, the relatives and the top brass bickered amongst each other about the inheritance, so the company finally went bankrupt. By that point, they were truly out of any competent employees. The bankruptcy of the company led Harry to personally become bankrupt as well. None of his father's inheritance was left. I'm not even sure where he is or what he's doing anymore. Because of the family's infighting, I heard there wasn't a single person who helped him out. I've taken on my dad's company. Business is stable. I've been there to discuss future plans with the other employees who quit with me. I even introduced some of them to new jobs elsewhere. I've tried to do right by them for dragging them into the mess at their former workplace. I'm not sure if I could say that we're even. Regardless, I'd like to help them if they need me going forward. Now that we're separated from Lydia's family, we're living a peaceful life. Lydia is pregnant now, so we're researching all we can about childbirth and raising children. We want to create an environment where the whole family is happy. And of course, my beloved wife will be by my side.